No one really prepares you for what aging feels like as a woman. Not the magazines with glamorous silver-haired models smiling beside ocean views. Not the commercials offering miracle creams and quick fixes. And certainly not the doctors who glance at your chart and say, "It's just your age," before moving on to the next patient. But if you are a woman between the ages of 55 and 75, you already know the truth. Aging is not just about how your body changes. It is about how you see yourself. It is about the memories you carry, the dreams you have set down, the relationships that have shifted, and the questions that still echo quietly in your heart. Some days you feel invisible. Other days you feel stronger than ever, but unsure what to do with that strength. You may have wondered, is it just me feeling this way? Is it too late to start over? Is this all there is? Let me tell you something that every woman deserves to hear, especially now. No, it is not too late. No, you are not alone. And no, this is not the end of anything. In fact, this may be the most honest, most powerful chapter of your life. In the next few minutes, we are going to talk, woman to woman, about the real, often unspoken truths of aging. About the parts that are hard, the parts that are beautiful, and the parts that no one seems to say out loud. This is not a list of tips. It is a moment of truth and a gentle invitation to live more simply, to love more deeply, to feel more fully, and to embrace this season of your life with grace, with strength, and with joy. So go ahead and pour yourself a cup of tea or coffee, find a cozy chair, and let's begin together. 1. Your body is not failing you. It's talking to you. There comes a time when a woman looks in the mirror and doesn't quite recognize the reflection looking back. The skin is softer. The joints creak. The energy that once carried her through long days and sleepless nights now asks for a little more rest. It can feel frustrating, even unfair. But here is the truth. Your body is not failing you. It is talking to you. For decades, you pushed through without complaint. You carried children, groceries, burdens. You ran households, businesses, and marathons of emotional labor. And your body went with you, quietly and without asking for much. But now it's asking for care, real care, gentle, loving, patient care. This is not about fixing yourself or going backwards. You're not broken. You're not meant to look 30 again. You're meant to feel well, to move freely, to be strong for the years ahead. That begins not with discipline, but with compassion. Start with small things. A 20-minute walk each day, not for weight loss, but for clarity. A stretch in the morning, not for flexibility, but for presence. Nourish yourself with foods that make you feel good, not guilty. Drink water as if your well-being depends on it, because it does. And when you see yourself in the mirror, try saying this: thank you. For the children your body may have carried, for the nights it stayed up with sick babies or anxious thoughts, for the way it got you here, to this moment, right now. This body is not a problem to be solved. It is a home to be honored. Speak to it with love. Move it with kindness. Rest it with care. You only get one, and it has been doing its best for you all along. 2. True friends are fewer and priceless. As we grow older, we begin to understand something that youth never taught us. That friendship is not about how many people fill your contact list, but about the few who truly see you. Some friendships fade with time. Some disappear without warning. It hurts deeply. You may find yourself wondering if you did something wrong, or if you're just being forgotten. But look closer. The ones who remain, the ones who show up, who remember your birthday without Facebook, who call just to hear your voice, those friends are rare gems. and they are worth holding close. At this stage of life, connection matters more than ever. Loneliness can creep in quietly. A full calendar can still feel empty without someone to talk to who truly understands. That is why we must nurture the friendships that bring peace, laughter, and truth. Send that message you've been meaning to send. Call her back, even if it's been months. Write that card, even if your handwriting shakes a little now. Do it not for the sake of obligation, but because relationships are the most meaningful investment we ever make. It's not the grand gestures that keep a friendship alive. It's the quiet presence, the shared memories, the comfort of knowing that someone out there remembers who you used to be and still loves who you are now. True friends are not just company, they are anchors. They remind you that even in the changing tides of life, you are not adrift. 3. Time moves faster. Slow yourself, not the clock. Have you noticed how quickly the years seem to pass now? One moment you're planning Thanksgiving, and the next, the Christmas lights are already packed away. Children become adults. Seasons blur. Birthdays arrive faster than they used to. It's not your imagination. Our perception of time truly does shift as we age, but while you cannot slow the clock, you can slow yourself. And that one choice changes everything. Slow down when you pour your morning coffee. Really smell it, taste it, feel it warm your hands. Let your hugs last a few seconds longer. Sit outside in the evening without checking your phone. Listen to the birds. Watch the sky. Let ordinary moments be enough. We spend so much of our lives rushing toward milestones, careers, children, goals. And then, when we finally arrive at a slower chapter, we are unsure what to do with stillness. But this stillness is not emptiness. It's opportunity. It's presence. You are not running out of time. You're learning to live inside it. Do not wait for something big to make you feel alive again. Life is happening now, in the softness of routine, in the sparkle of small joys, in the beauty of simply being here. Let the world keep rushing. You, dear friend, can choose peace. 4. Gratitude doesn't erase pain, but it illuminates joy. By the time you reach your 60s or 70s, life has handed you both beautiful moments and heartbreaking ones. There are people you miss every day. There are dreams that did not come true. There are losses that still leave quiet spaces in your heart. Gratitude does not ask you to forget those things. It does not erase pain or pretend life has been easy, but it gives you the strength to notice what is still good, even in the midst of sorrow. It may be something small, the laughter of a grandchild, a breeze through an open window, the scent of cookies baking in the oven, a favorite song that makes your shoulders sway, a conversation with someone who truly listens. Gratitude is a lens. It shifts what you see, and over time, it softens the edges of hurt with presence and peace. Try keeping a gratitude journal. Just 3 small things each night. You may be surprised at how much beauty rises to the surface when you begin to look for it. And here's the best part. Gratitude not only changes how you feel, but how you live. You begin to savor, to appreciate, to connect more deeply than before. You do not need to be cheerful all the time. But if you can find something to be thankful for, even in the hardest days, you are building a resilient, radiant spirit that keeps growing with age. 5. Saying no is a sacred yes to yourself. For most of your life, you were taught that being a good woman meant saying yes. Yes to helping, yes to hosting, yes to listening, yes to putting others first, even when it wore you thin. But now, something in you has shifted. And maybe, just maybe, you are beginning to understand this. Every yes costs something. Your time, your energy, your peace, and sometimes your health. Saying no is not selfish. It is sacred. It is the quiet courage of protecting your time, your energy, your heart. You do not owe your presence to every invitation. You do not have to explain yourself when you say, "That doesn't work for me." You are not less kind when you set a boundary. You're simply honoring your needs, your space, your well-being. Say no to gatherings that leave you drained. Say no to favors asked out of guilt. Say no to conversations that feel heavy or one-sided. Each time you do, you are saying yes to rest, to quiet, to joy, to the people and passions that truly nourish you. You have earned the right to protect your peace. You do not need to be everything to everyone. You just need to be whole to yourself. This is not the season of overgiving. This is the season of choosing wisely. Choose what brings light. Let go of what no longer fits. 6. Legacy is in the quiet moments. When you hear the word legacy, what comes to mind? Maybe you picture awards, titles, or some grand achievement with your name etched into history. But most legacies are not built in headlines. They are built quietly, in the everyday moments that often go unnoticed. Your legacy is not about what you leave behind in your will. It's about what you leave behind in people's hearts. Think back to the times you truly showed up, when you sat with your child as they cried, when you brought soup to a sick neighbor, when you listened without interrupting. Those moments may have felt ordinary, but they left extraordinary imprints. Legacy lives in the encouragement you gave when someone was ready to give up. It's in the gentle way you handled conflict. It's in the kindness you extended to someone who didn't expect it. And sometimes, it's just in the way you made someone feel safe in your presence. People may forget what you said. They may even forget what you did. But they will never forget how you made them feel. So ask yourself, how do you want to be remembered? You do not need to build an empire. You do not need a list of accolades. You only need to live today with presence and compassion. Every small act of care is a stitch in the fabric of your legacy. And every day, you are weaving something beautiful. 7. A sharp mind is a gift you can keep growing. As we age, people often focus on what our bodies can no longer do. But there is something far more powerful that deserves your attention. Your mind. Your mind is not past its prime. In fact, with the richness of your life experience, it may be more powerful than ever before. You have the ability to connect dots others do not see. You hold wisdom that only time can teach. But like any precious thing, it must be tended to. A sharp mind is not about being perfect at crossword puzzles or remembering every appointment. It is about staying curious. It is about asking questions, seeking new knowledge, staying open to new ideas. It is about engaging in conversations that matter. Pick up books that challenge your thinking. Learn a few words in a new language, even if you never plan to travel. Try a new recipe. Listen to music you've never heard before and ask yourself what it makes you feel. Your mind wants to be nourished, not with constant noise, but with thoughtful attention. It's easy to let the television run all day or scroll mindlessly, but those habits numb the very gift you still carry, the ability to think, to dream, to grow. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to stay present and engaged. Your brain, like your heart, wants movement, connection, and purpose. The more you nurture your mind, the more alive you feel, not just in memory, but in meaning. Because mental clarity is not about age, it's about attention. And you still have so much to give, to share, and to learn. 8. Change is inevitable, but it doesn't have to break you. Change is one of the few certainties in life, and it rarely asks permission. One day, you're working full-time, and the next, you are retired, wondering what to do with your mornings. One moment, your house is full of children and noise, and the next, it is quiet, almost too quiet. Your body changes. Relationships evolve. Friends move away. Roles you once held so tightly begin to loosen. And it can feel like the ground beneath you is always shifting. But here is something no one says enough. You are allowed to grieve change. You are allowed to miss what once was. That ache in your chest when you look at an old photo? That is not weakness. That is love. Still, while change can feel like a storm, you are not a leaf in the wind. You are the roots. You can bend without breaking. The key is not to resist change. Resistance only deepens the pain. The key is to flow with it, to adapt, even slowly. Maybe your life looks different than you imagined, but different is not less. Sometimes it's just quieter, more deliberate, more free. Allow yourself to discover joy in new beginnings. A smaller home that feels warmer. A new friendship that arrives unexpectedly. A rhythm that lets you breathe. Life has not stopped. It has simply shifted. You are not being left behind. You are being invited to live differently. And sometimes, that difference holds the deepest kind of peace. 9. Material things lose their shine, but meaning grows brighter. When we are younger, we chase things. A bigger house, a newer car, a closet full of just the right clothes. We believe that each new purchase brings happiness, and for a while it does. But something begins to shift as the years go by. The thrill of buying fades faster. The stuff we once adored begins to gather dust, and what truly matters becomes crystal clear. It is not the car in the driveway that brings comfort. It's the conversation that happens during the drive. It's not the designer bag that brings happiness. It's the hand you hold while walking through the store. You begin to crave simplicity, space, light, freedom from clutter. Not just on your shelves, but in your heart. That's why many women find deep relief in letting go, not just of things, but of old expectations, outdated goals, and the exhausting need to impress others. You realize you do not need more. You simply need meaning. Decluttering becomes more than cleaning your closet. It becomes emotional. It becomes spiritual. You're no longer collecting objects. You're curating moments, memories, connections. And with less stuff comes more room. More room to breathe, more room to laugh, more room to love. So keep the keepsakes that truly matter. Let the rest go. Because in the end, your life will not be measured by what you owned, but by how deeply you lived and how well you loved. 10. Happiness is an inside job. So many of us spent decades chasing happiness like it was a finish line, something to finally reach once everything else fell into place. We told ourselves things like, "I'll be happy when the kids are grown," or "I'll be happy when I retire, when I lose weight, when life slows down." But here is the truth we discover later in life. Happiness is not out there. It is not waiting in a future day, or inside a perfect home, or in the approval of others. Happiness is an inside job. It is built, choice by choice, from how we choose to see our lives. It is not about perfection. It is about presence. It shows up in the little things, that first sip of morning coffee, a quiet walk at dusk, the soft smile from someone you love, a book that keeps you up too late, a clean kitchen after dinner, the warmth of socks fresh out of the dryer. Happiness often lives in moments we used to rush past. And the beautiful thing is, the more we slow down, the more we begin to notice it. That does not mean everything is easy. It does not mean you will never feel grief or fear or doubt, but it means you no longer wait for your life to be fixed before you feel joy. You learn to feel joy right in the middle of it all, in the mess, the stillness, the surprise of an ordinary Tuesday. You also learn that being kind to yourself matters. You stop speaking harshly to your reflection. You stop calling yourself lazy for resting. You forgive yourself for not being everything to everyone. You give yourself permission to be human. And that permission It opens the door to real peace. So if you are still waiting for happiness to arrive, stop. Look around. It has been quietly waiting for you all along. 11. Fear is loud, but you are louder. Fear has a way of sneaking in, especially as we grow older. It wears many masks: caution, practicality, logic. It whispers softly in the back of your mind, maybe this is not the right time. Maybe you're too old. What if you fail? Fear pretends it is keeping you safe, but more often, it is keeping you stuck. And here is something you need to know. Some of the most beautiful moments of your life will require you to do things while you are still afraid. Think about the times that shaped you. The first time you moved out on your own. The first time you held your baby. The first time you said yes to something uncertain. Those moments were not free of fear. You just chose to walk forward anyway. That is courage. Not the absence of fear, but the decision to not let it decide your life. As we age, it is tempting to make life smaller, to protect ourselves from risk, disappointment, change. But the truth is, life still has more to offer you. Your heart still has the capacity for adventure, for creativity, for love. So sign up for the class, even if you do not know anyone. Pick up the paintbrush, even if your hands tremble. Say yes to the invitation. Speak the truth you have been holding inside for years. Travel, try, ask, risk. Every time you choose to step through fear, your world expands. You become a little braver, a little more alive. The voice of fear becomes smaller, and the voice of your own strength grows louder. You do not need to be fearless. You just need to be willing. Let fear ride in the back seat, but do not let it take the wheel. This is your life, and you are not done yet. 12. It's never too late to begin again. If there is one lie the world repeats far too often, it is this: that there comes a point in life where it is simply too late. Too late to start over. Too late to fall in love again. Too late to try something new. Too late to dream. But that is not truth. That is fear in disguise. As long as you are breathing, it is never too late to begin again. You might not be able to run marathons or stay up all night dancing like you used to, but beginnings at this stage of life carry a different kind of magic. They are intentional. They are soulful. They are rich with everything you have already learned. I have known women who picked up a new language in their 60s, who started writing poetry in their 70s, who traveled abroad for the first time in their 80s, who fell in love deeply, wildly, unexpectedly, when they thought love had passed them by. You do not need the perfect plan. You do not need permission. You do not need to have everything figured out. You just need to begin. Maybe you start a new hobby. Maybe you reconnect with a piece of yourself you had set aside for years. Maybe you walk into a room full of strangers and say, "I'm here." Maybe you open your heart one more time, even though it's been bruised. Beginning again is not a sign of failure. It is a sign that you are still alive, still growing, still reaching toward light. There is no expiration date on reinvention, no limit on your capacity to create, connect, or change. You're not too old. You're not too late. You're right on time. So take a deep breath and take the first step. The next chapter of your life has not been written yet, and the pen is still in your hands. The best is still ahead, and you hold the pen. So here we are, dear friend. We have walked together through the quiet truths of aging, not the surface level talk, but the deep, tender wisdom that only life experience can bring. You've seen how your body, even with its aches, still holds strength. You have felt the power of real friendship. You've remembered that time moves quickly, but presence can slow it. You've rediscovered the light of gratitude, the courage to say no, and the beauty of small beginnings. You've seen that your mind still blooms. That change can bring gifts. That happiness is built from within. And most importantly, that you are never too late to begin again. So, what now? Now you write the next page, not from pressure, not for anyone else's approval, but from a place of freedom, of clarity, of quiet strength. You are not the woman you were at 20. You are more. You are wiser, braver, softer in the best of ways. This chapter, this one right here, might just be the most powerful of your entire story. So tell me in the comments, what spoke to you today? What truth are you carrying forward? And if this message touched your heart, I invite you to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Because aging is not the end. It is the unfolding. And the best is still ahead. And you hold the pen. Until next time, be gentle with yourself. You are exactly where you need to be.